Council's move, tagging them as affiliates of terrorist groups and having their websites blocked.
Yung kanilang site ay ginagamit nila para sa propaganda ng isang teroristang organisasyon at yung paghihikayat na sumali sa armadong pakikibakan. Meron silang iisang goal dito. And what is that goal? That goal is to the violent overthrow of government. And how do you get there? You get there by recruiting our children, and there's this deception. And in fact, a very powerful weapon of the CPP-NPA and it's really the cornerstone of this terrorist organization is disinformation.
Two websites blocked by the National Telecommunications Commission for their supposed association with terror groups. Now, media and free speech advocates ask, is this the beginning of a crackdown? We discuss in this episode of The Chiefs. And welcome to this midweek edition of The Chiefs. I'm Lingao. Also with us, the head of News 5, Luchi Cruz-Valdes, and Ana Marie Pamintuan of the Philippine Star. Ladies, happy midweek.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Happy hump day.
Okay,
We're
hump
in the
day.
middle of the week already.
Yeah. Oh, what's the big story today, Ami? I suppose ito yung main topic natin today.
Yan na yung main topic natin. Pero kung gusto nyo ng COVID, significant increase daw sa mga COVID cases.
But with regard to the first topic that we'll be having today, of course, what we talked about a while ago, the two, well, not just the two media sites, but as well websites of other organizations that had been tagged as affiliates by the NTF-CAC of the CPP-NPA. Again, tagged by the NTF-CAC as affiliates of the CPP-NPA. And for that, let's bring in I suppose we should bring in our first guest already tonight. Let's call in our first guest, Vergel Santos from the Center for Media Freedom and Responsibility. Mr. Vergel Santos, thank you for joining us and welcome back to the Chiefs.
Hi, guys. A pleasure and duty.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Vergel.
Hi, guys.
Yes, sir. Of course, you know already what we're going to talk about, yung blocking ng NTC ng mga websites ng mga grupo na hindi man lang declared as illegal yet or have not been charged for anything illegal. My question to you is this, can they do that? Can the NTC actually do that?
It's not about whether the NTC can do something or not. The NTC does it as it pleases. It did it to ABS-CBN. It could be doing it to other media organization. It's not about whether it should not be done or it should be at all. The problem is that they seem intent on doing it. And I think the danger is for us to take this case in isolation. Because I think the times are direr than we'd like to think they are. Because if you first, I heard, by the way, Undersecretary Malaya being asked, what reason might there be for NTC to do that? And or the security advisor Esperon to recommend it. And Malaya's response was, certainly there is a reason, but it's not only a reason that we are looking for. We are looking for evidence, for proof, for sample posts that would even only seem tendencies. I don't see any of that sort. So, ang sa akin nga is that the law itself that is supposed to apply in this case, the Terrorism Act, is unable itself to define the crime that it punishes. And now we are looking at the NTC case seemingly in isolation. I think there are very ominous connections to this. If you will remember, the incoming press secretary just issued a statement wishing to call for a debate on martial law. You know, and then the incoming president himself raising the possibility of an emergency. I mean, certainly, these all make for ominous connections. I think
Well,
we are.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are in graver trouble than we think we are here.
Yes, sir. Sir, I ask if you think they can do that because in the end, siyempre, pwedeng idaan yan sa, pwedeng idaan sa korte. I mean, they can always contest this in court. But I think in this case, they'll have to go to Supreme Court.
Yeah.
My question has to do kasi with, for example, applying the anti-terror law. Of course, the anti-terror law does provide for proscription and
Yes.
designation. But these groups that were identified and blocked by the NTC were not even designated.
Exactly. Then it should be taken to court and let's see what the court says. Naturally, we'll have to go to court. In the end naman, we all go to court for any. Clearly, that clearly should not happen. Somehow, are sanctioned by the courts. I can't understand. So, sa akin, Ed, it's I look at these things not only from the viewpoint of what we can do legally, but what is actually happening. And what is happening? What is happening is that nung araw pa, kung sino-sino tinatawag niyang mga iyan na komunista
Na yun na nga,
Okay.
oo. Ako
Oh.
naman, alam mo, naiisip ko, Vergel, nung sinabi ni Clarita Carlos, who's the incoming National Security Advisor, na hindi siya sang-ayon sa pagre-red tag. Kahit papano, ha, nahimasmasan ang media doon. Di ba? Nahimasmasan kasi marami nga rin sa mga, sabihin na natin, di ba? So parang ano kaya ito that they would do this soon after the incoming National Security Advisor says
Yes.
walang saysay ang pagre-rentag. Walang what do you think they're doing here? I mean, because we're talking about motives already. And, do
Tayo
you
naman
think they're asserting themselves now, yung NTF-LCAC in particular, no? Because that's what the NTF-LCAC has been busily doing these past months.
Yes.
Red tagging and defending the red tagging, no?
The idea is to threaten. The idea is to intimidate. Yun naman ang ginagawa na nila no? Threatening, intimidating. Yung sinabi ni Clarita na hindi tama yung nire-red tag, dapat kay Clarita, tuwing may lilitaw na ganyan, lilitaw din siya, sabihin niya, hindi tama yan. Yun para magkakita-kita kung ano itong nangyayari sa atin. Pag sinabi ni Trixie Angeles na kailangan pag-usapan natin ang martial law, dapat may lumitaw at sabihin na there is no use for any debate on martial law. Why?
Yes.
Because even as a policy, martial law kills freedom, kills democracy. And in our experience, martial law brought wholesale torture, murder, and plunder. So walang dapat pag-usapan, di ba? Pero bakit walang lumilitaw? Bakit hindi lumilitaw? At pagkatapos sasabihin ni incoming President Marcos, may posibilidad na mag-declare siya ng emergency. Paano naman yan? Wala naman tayo naririnig. I hope Clarita Carlos would come out with every case that is raised in this sense, dapat lumitaw siya.
Berhel,
Kasi security to
Nag-issue statement si Hermogenes Esperon tonight. Ang
ano sabi
slide niya,
niya?
yung isang article sa Pinoy Weekly na promoting violent overthrow ng gobyerno na specified daw yan sa Anti-Terrorism Act na bawal nga na it's a crime under the anti-terrorism law. At saka earlier nga si Lorraine Badoy naglabas din nung nung excerpt ng same weekly na yun na nga recruitment daw for armed struggle at saka yung mga pagbobomba. So
Alam mo, hindi ko alam kung ano talaga yan Pakita mo nga sa akin, ano ba yung exact passage that they are seizing as evidence of terrorism. Gusto ko ipakita nila, ano ba sabi ba dapat mag-aklas tayo.
Yan,
We must
violent
revolt
struggle.
violently
struggle.
against this government. Is that exactly what it says?
Against the state. Yun yung kino-quote nilang mga excerpts from the...
Meaning, it is saying that exactly?
Yes, yun ang
That we should
sinasabi.
raise?
Yes.
I'd like to see that.
Ami, actually, sabi, di ba, they're actively supporting and are affiliated. So, parang ganun ang pag-ID nila eh. Affiliated with the CPP and the F.
Yes.
So, yun yung official statement. No?
Yes. Ang sinasabi ni Esperon, kahit daw all our freedoms carry responsibilities and we've...
Alam naman natin yun eh. In the way that all is power, meron ding responsibilidad. Pareho lang yan. Yung freedom natin, may responsibilidad. Yung poder niya, meron din responsibilidad. Ang gusto kong makita, hindi rason nila eh. Ang gusto kong makita, some measure of proof or evidence na ito talaga ang sinasabi nitong binablock nila ng mga organisasyon. Sinabi ba talaga mag-aklas tayo armed? Ha? Masumapi tayo sa NPA.
Yun nga ang sinasite nila sa publication.
Really?
Kaya nila pinablock.
That's sinabi nito mga publication ito?
Yun yung
Sumapi tayo sa NPA?
Yun yung sinasite nila sa statement nila.
I'd like to see that.
Kasi
I'd like to see that.
Yun lang ang fino-focus nila, yung armed struggle.
Pero sinite ba nila yung passage? The very passage itself?
Direct quote. Yes.
Yun
Yun yung official statement nila. Yun yung official statement ni Esperon.
Yun ang official statement ni Esperon. Pero walang direct quote from this organization.
Meron siyang mga kinuhang quotes. Yes. Oo.
He's not saying ito yung statement niya. He is citing an excerpt from the... Hindi ko maano kasi hindi ko naman nabasa eh.
Citing the sa akin eh. Because I cannot seem to believe that a media organization would even say so egregiously that we should join the NPA or we should
The armed struggle
raise an armed revolt. An armed revolt.
In effect, parang sinasabi daw nung article ay legitimate avenue for changing society ang armed struggle. Essentially, yun
Actually, sir,
yun daw ang sinasabi ng article.
Kahit sabihin mo yun, kailangan ipakita sa konteksto na yung sinabing iyon really advocating armed violence. Kailangan yun eh. Kailangan may sa konteksto. Kung sinasabi mo lang na, alam mo, pag ganito ang gobyerno, maraming maaaring mag-isip na ano pa ang magagawa natin kung di tayo lalaban dito by force of arms. Aba, hindi yan. Hindi terroristic yan, ha? Nagconforme sa context eh. Kaya ako sinasabi ko, gusto ko munang makita bago mag-umpisa sila ng ganyan. Kasi si Malaya nga, narinig ko kanina, tinatanong, ano ba ang rason? Siguradong may rason yan. Wala niya sinasabing rason siya mismo. Ako naman, ang sabi ko, ang tanong ano bang rason? Anong ebidensya? Ano ang prueba na iyan terorista?
Actually,
Yun ang
sir,
gusto ko makita.
Ang tanong ko kung may kaso bang isilampa. If there was a violation of the anti-terror law, then a case should have been filed. Kasi from my understanding of the NTC is that
down lang di ba?
Is that they will block sites that conduct illegal activities like child pornography, piracy, and illegal gambling. These are clearly violations of the law. So they do pull them down. In this particular case, if no charges have been filed and the groups have not
I agree
been
with Ed.
have not been charged, then
Dapat may kaso yan.
so consequently, sir, the question would be, what's the impact on everybody else? I mean, if you
Exactly.
If they can just pull down, di ba?
Oo. At sabihin lang, irekomenda lang ang NTC susunod. Isipin mo yan.
Have they
Ganun
ever,
na lang,
sir, have they ever
I-recommend
done this to? Has the NTC ever done this to another media organization in the past? Hiwalay natin sir yung ABS-CBN kasi ABS-CBN may franchise issue yun that goes to Congress But for example, NTC with its quasi-judicial functions of being able to regulate telecommunications. In this case, it's telecommunications that they regulated They ordered
technical regulation yun
Yes, sir.
Pero ang issue sa ABS-CBN, press freedom
Yes, sir.
So, debatable pa rin yun. Pero itong case na ito, this is about terrorism Iba na ito no? Itong kaso ito talaga iba, terrorism na ito Sinasabi na itong media organizations na ito encouraging terrorism. Ito ang sinasabi nila Pero may kaso ba?
Well, I'm sure they will file a case, no? Because Esperon was citing it says the article falls under inciting to commit terrorism.
Yes.
So yun.
Yes.
And
inciting.
that's a violation in the Anti-Terrorism Act, of course.
Yes.
So,
Inciting.
Ako ang tanong ko dyan nga is, well, if they're excerpting, parts of the article nga, saying that the American Revolution, the French Revolution, mga ganyan daw.
Paano context yan
parang legitimate nga raw yun.
Legitimate yun.
Is that, ako ang tanong ko, inciting to terrorism ba yun? I guess too.
In the end, masasite mo rin anybody can say that if you look at history, in the end, when in the most extreme situations, certain people are forced into violent protest. Di ba? Masasite mo yan Pero inciting ba yan? Conforme sa context
That's the question, no?
Gusto ko makita yung context. Kasi maaaring they picked out something to support their own argument, Kumbinyente. Which is, we hope na hindi ganyan, Kasi kung hindi, napakadaling isara tayong lahat niyan. Hindi na kailangan mag-martial law, sasaro na lang tayo basta. Yun ang nangyayari ngayon hindi mo kailangan yan basta sasara ka na lang.
This is the outgoing administration. This is Esperon. And yun na nga, si Clarita Carlos na yung papasok and magiging OSG, si Menardo Guevara, ayaw din daw niya ng red tagging. Do you think this thing will be pursued in the incoming administration?
That's exactly why I am connecting Esperon to Trixie Angeles and to incoming President Marcos. Trixie Angeles wants martial law debated. Incoming President Marcos raises the possibility of him ruling in an emergency. Bago na ito Pero may connection pa rin si Esperon dito sa ginagawa sa balak gawin ng susunod na administrasyon. Kaya nga sinasabi ko na kabit-kabit, the connection cannot be ignored. This is what I'm saying.
Kasi ang yung problema, meron nga tayo ngayong anti-terrorism law. So, ang remedyo siguro, i-challenge ulit. Kaya lang na-uphold na yung legitimacy, di ba?
Yan ang problema natin. Ma-uphold yung legitimacy. Marami namang ganyan napapawalan nga ng na dinadala sa korte Meron nga isa dyan, senador dinala doon sinabi na pinawalang sala pero pinababalik yung ninakaw. Paano nangyari pinawalang sala pero may ninakaw? Yun ang these are the contradictions in our society today masyadong mahirap arukin Kaya nakakatakot. Hindi mo naman pumalaan
Pwede itong gamitin test case kasi nagsasite sila ng Republic Act So pwede itong actionable since something like this happened. Pwede siyang iakyat uli at and then uli yung Anti-Terrorism Act in connection with this case.
May case talaga
Pwede may review ulit.
May case talaga Yeah, I think so. You can always go to the courts for redress.
Yes.
Ito actually, kino-quote ko ito. Kasi nga gusto ko rin malaman, ano pa talaga yung ito ang sabi raw sa yung Pinoy Weekly isang paraan ang armadong pakikibaka para radikal na mabagong lipunan, no? Tapos sa huli, inatasan naman ng CPP ang NPA na palakasin ang pagre-recruit at pagsasanay ng libo-libo pang pulang mandirigma mula sa hanay ng mga kabataang magsasaka, mga manggagawa, intelektual. So yun, yung mga, these
Oh,
words.
Tignan mo, Luchi, Sinasabi ng Pinoy Weekly, nire-report ng Pinoy Weekly na inatasan ng CPP ang NPA na mag-recruit. Tinutulungan na si Esperon
right?
Tinutulungan pa nga si Esperon alerting Esperon to this CPP campaign. In-alert pa nga si Esperon Baka hindi nila alam
Okay, so it's a perspective, I think.
Perspective yan context yan
The whole article, but taken by itself, parang
taken by itself. Yung tsaka sinight na nangyayari talaga yung armed revolution pagka-extreme na ang sitwasyon. Yun din ang sinabi ng Pinoy Weekly, di ba? Wala pa rin masama doon.
Ito ang tanong ko kasi ang kino-quote nila ay CPP. So, I guess the question is really, Verhel.
If you report...
Why would I quote the CPP? Kunyari ako, News 5.
But why should you not?
Lalong itaas ng hukbong bayan ang kakayahan sa gerilyang pakikidigma, ang pagsikreto sa mga paraan ito ng paglalakad. Ang haba ng quote, no? At ang kumbaga, tapos atas ng CPP. In other words, they're really quoting from the CPP.
Hindi ba tayo Luchi, tayong mga mamamahayag, ang hinahanap natin first hand primary sources. Ang galing ng Pinoy Weekly primary source ito Ito nang galing sa CPP, NPA mismo. Ito ang ginagawa nila ngayon. Ngayon, all Esperon has to do is to react to it. Ano naman ang ginagawa nyo? Hindi ko maintindihan.
Well, sir, I think to Luchi's point...
just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Hindi pa dapat, kasi pag dumating sa akin to, at yan na nga, first of all, frankly, I would not be surprised that CPP would come out with
You see? Exactly.
So, far from concerned, it's not news. Okay, so I probably wouldn't even carry it because, well, that's the CPP talking. What else is new, right?
Yes.
But
if the CPP...
If I decided to use it, I would most certainly, Verhel, ask Esperon, what do you think of this?
Yes.
Exactly, no? Okay, what if I didn't? That's my question. What if they didn't?
It is in the context of the times, Pinoy Weekly may have been remiss professionally on that point. But tell me, what does it do? Does it prevent Esperon from saying what he thinks about this? It does not. He can always come out and say, this is what we think about it. It was a professional... Let us grant that it was a professional, a professional
or
miss,
an editorial
a slip, a professional slip. Let's call it that.
Right.
But does it prevent the government or Esperon from saying what they wish to say in regard to this
second question lang.
information?
Yes, I get your point. But second question, what if the publication does it often enough? I mean, it's always the content. I mean, surely
To next time, next
suspect
time,
nga na, ano ba
Pinoy
to?
Weekly-
Tool ba to ng... Yeah.
The next
Go ahead.
time, Pinoy Weekly should call Esperon. Now, if it does not,
Ginagawa.
Yun na nga. What
Hindi
if
nila
it does
ginagawa.
not? Oo. Laging nilalabas ito, pero hindi naman inubuhay
Hindi nila
yung
ginagawa
side
yung
ng
kabilang
gobyerno.
side.
Hindi ba rason naman din yun para
Hindi,
pagdudahan
dapat-
nga na parang publication to ng CPP?
o dapat winar ni Esperon. Sa susunod, pag ginawa nyo yan, kakasuhan namin kayo kasi hindi tama yan. Ang sagot naman ng Pinoy Weekly, ang maaaring sagot, ito. Ganun ba? So mula ngayon, basta nakakita kami ng balitang yan, sir, tatawagan namin kayo. May pagkukulang pareho eh. Luchi, may pagkukulang pareho. May pagkukulang yung Pinoy
Kaya
Weekly.
nga.
May pagkukulang
Kaya nga.
yung gobyerno.
Sir,
May
ako, sir,
pagkukulang yung
sir,
gobyerno eh.
sir, ako
Yes,
masimple ang tanong ko,
pero-
sir. Masimple ang tanong ko. The new anti-terror law, once you apply it, does that mean that we can no longer interview rebels and rebel leaders
Yan.
at all? Or otherwise be accused of supporting an armed conflict?
Basta kukunin mo yata yung kabila, di ba?
Yung context,
But-
context yan.
Yes, sir. But,
To be fair to all
but
sides, di ba?
that's a
You get the government side as well.
That's a professional
also
standard.
na
That's a
kung publication ka nga ng CPP, yun lang yun ang ilalabas mo. And, I mean, obvious ba mukhang publication nga ito, di ba?
Publication. Let's see,
Kasi parang, yeah.
Let's talk
Go
of
ahead.
let's talk of strict fairness here. Pagka ikaw, publication ka ng gobyerno, o publication ka nakakampi ng gobyerno, ang nilalabas mo lang gobyerno, hindi mo tinatawagan na CPP-NPA? Kung ano reaction nila? Or some leftist
Bakit mo naman
organization?
tatawagan ng CPP-NPA?
In certain context, we
Hindi mo
should.
naman-
In
hindi
certain
mo naman
context, we should.
kinikilala rin yun, di ba? Oo
But
naman.
hindi. But in certain contexts, we should. Remember that in Duterte's time, we were quoting Joma left and right. Remember?
Tayo yun because we're not propaganda,
Exactly.
right?
That's what I'm
Oo.
saying. So, bakit ngayon, magrereklamo ang gobyerno na hindi sila tinatawagan itong isang media organization? Pero
So my
sila...
question is, because yun na nga, kung yun ang laman, but although
Kung
I'm
yun
not saying yun
I'm
yung
saying-
laman,
what I'm saying
because
is
I
that-
don't really read Pinoy
What
Weekly,
I'm-
but
what I'm
kung
saying-
yun ang laman,
What I'm saying is this. The government should have warned or given notice to this publication that if it persisted in doing so without asking them for their side, we will be forced to take extreme measures or whatever. No?
Okay.
Sabihin mo,
So
hindi
dapat
naman nila
may ganon.
ginawa eh. Oo.
Pero sir,
Dapat sabihin nila.
isn't that a professional standard and not a legal standard?
Yes, to be fair.
That's another thing. It is a professional standard. Now, kung gusto nilang dalhin sa korte, ang dapat gawin ni Esperon, kasuhan, dalhin sa korte, hindi dalhin sa NTC at sabihin sa NTC, saran nyo yan. Hindi ba yun ang dapat? Hindi ba?
siguro
Hindi
sa
ba when you're
kanila
talking-
mas
when you're
urgent yung shut it up because, precisely it's calling people to arms, right?
Hindi.
So shut it up
Hindi, dapat-
first and then file
dapat
a
mag-de-
case. I would imagine
Hindi.
that's what they would do.
Hindi, dapat mag-declare ka muna emergency. Declare ka muna
They're
emergency.
citing the
These are natural...
Anti-Terrorism Act kasi. That's why kaya nga aakyat na lang to sa korte.
Dali sa korte.
Citing the
naman yan sa
Anti-Terrorism Act.
Kasi ang lumalabas dito, ang lumalabas pa na sumobra in this case, that overstepped the bounds of the relationship. Just the relationship. Yung pang National Security Advisors Office at saka yung NTC.
Kaya
Di
nga,
ba? Yung lumalabas?
Yung NTC, yes, parang feeling ko,
Oo.
bis nyo naman
Yes.
mag-pull down
Oo.
dyan, ha?
Sipin mo
Oo.
naman,
Parang-
sarado mo na agad.
Ganun na lang ba agad yun? Dapat may
Oo.
proseso naman yun.
Meron,
di ba?
oo.
Parang tanungin muna, di ba?
Oo.
Parang I mean, like in any company, right? Parang
Oo.
explain why you should not be pulled out.
Oh, exactly. You are not without reason.
Baka pwede
Silence ka.
EMR naman yung order. Diba?
Oh.
Eh, ano
baka-
yun, lahat naman
baka
ng ano,
naman.
hindi naman final.
Baka
Pero
ganun
ako,
na nga
alam mo,
yung
pero ako kasi
Pero-
ang tinitingnan ko dito is I don't want to look at the NTC case in isolation dahil may naririnig akong iba eh.
That's
Kaya
true,
ako,
that's true.
that's
Kaya nga
why
kailangan i-challenge yung move ngayon.
Yes,
Oo.
yeah.
Kailangan i-challenge lang.
Oo.
Yes, yeah, it
Pero-
definitely has to be challenged.
Kaya sinasabi
I'm
ng
just trying to,
it's a
I'm
legal
just trying to see you know what could have, because we don't know nga Pinoy Weekly, no? Ako, I personally don't. I don't
I
read
don't,
it.
I
I
don't,
don't really know what they do or what they write.
nga
No?
eh.
But
Oo.
I'm trying to argue lang from the point of view of Esperon or
Maghintay na
At saka
lang.
alam mo, diyan sa mga kasong ganyan about something written, something said, something expressed, great latitude is allowed. Pagka ganyan, dapat talaga maliwanag na may ebidensya na ikaw nakagawan ng terroristic act. Ano yan eh? You know why? Mas malaki ang latitude for freedom? Kasi yung gobyerno, the conspiracy is so easily to strike on the side of the government than on the side of media. Kasi tayo, we are necessarily in competition with one another, di ba? Yung gobyerno, nag-iisa yan. At merong sariling intimidating forces yan. Apart from the military, apart from the police, apart from the security agencies, may BIR yan. May kung ano-ano pa yan. So, kaya ang latitude na ibinibigay dun sa freedom. Imbis na dun sa power. Ganun yan eh. Dapat tingnan nila from that viewpoint eh. Dapat talaga bigyan nila ng latitude yung mga yan.
Pero ito, Varela, dun sa ending ng statement, nakalagay dito, Pinoy Weekly and other websites, sabi I wish to clarify that this restriction of access to these websites does not necessarily mean a restriction for these organizations to engage in free speech. Okay? Simply put, blah, 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 no? Ito, Pinoy Weekly and other websites in our letter to NTC are free to continue publishing articles and editorial pieces.
Self-contradictory yan.
Medyo malaki.
Hindi. Self-contradictory. And not only
but they
that,
will not be accessible to internet users. So, parang, ano ba yun?
Dito sa Pilipinas daw. Internet
Exactly.
users in the Philippines, they can be accessed now overseas.
Oo.
Yun
Yung mga Pilipino
Well, yeah.
na nasa Amerika or elsewhere abroad, pwede. Tapos pwede
nila
sa atin dito. Ganun na lang gawin nila.
Kaya nga.
Access nila, tas kwento nila sa atin. Paano yun?
Okay, sir, ano? I-mimeograph na lang, mimeograph.
This is getting to be ridiculous. Ano? Because self-contradictory eh. Ridiculous talaga eh. Diba? Ridiculous.
Yes. On the
Ngayon-
one hand, they pull down.
Oo.
On the other hand, they say, hey, you're free to write.
Ngayon,
So,
sasabihin ko pa
ano
ngayon doon sa aking kapatid na nasa Amerika, tingnan mo nga yung Pinoy, yung Pinoy Weekly. Tapos nga, email mo nga sa akin kung ano ang mga pinagsasasabi yan para masabi ko naman dito sa mga taga rito na ito pala ang kumakalat.
Tapos pag pinost mo, Vergel, ikaw ang mapupunta. Ikaw ang mapupunta.
Nasabihin ko sa kanya,
Pinost mo.
kinuha ko lang ito eh. Ano? Kinuha ko lang ito. I-report ko ngayon, ito nakuha ko, pinadala sa akin from abroad. O paano nga nang gagawin? Alam mo, this is really ridiculous eh. Ridiculous talaga. Akala ko pag sinara mo, sarado na. Mas maintindihan ko pa yun eh. Kapag sinara mo, sarado na. Pero hindi pala. Ang gagawin ko pala, pupunta ako sa Amerika, bubuksan ko yung Pinoy Weekly para mahala ko kung ano yung sa ibang lugar. step out of the territory, access Pinoy Weekly, and I will gain access.
Okay.
Talaga, it's ridiculous, Luchi naman eh.
Anyway, sir.
Ridiculous eh.
Anyway, sir, mahaba-haba pa tong
we're not
issue nito. I'm sure we'll have to bring you back
Kung
again in
hindi
the
lang
next few weeks
That's right.
to talk
We
about
shouldn't
this.
be laughing actually eh. Because this is ominous eh. We shouldn't be laughing really. This is portentous eh. Nakakatakot itong nangyayaring ito. Hindi basta-basta.
Kaya
Isipin
nga
mo.
i-challenge sa korte.
Oo. Tapos
Okay.
i-erase na tayo ang legitimate press.
Well, you have to fight it, di ba?
Oo, dapat labanan.
O kaya,
Lalo ngayon ang balak ni Trixie Angeles is to accredit bloggers, lend them legitimacy in that sense, and for them to drown out the legitimate media.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Isipin mo yan. Yan ang mga kabit-kabit na nakikita ko. Kaya ako nababahala. Kasi nakikita ko ito eh. Talaga naman pag kinabit-kabit mo at hindi mo naman sasabihin, pinupuwersa ko lang pagkabit-kabitin. Hindi. There are natural connections to these things.
Okay,
Natural, reasonable connections.
yes, sir. Sir, I'm afraid we're almost out of time. But we will have to bring you back again certainly the next few days, maybe even weeks,
Oh, yes,
to
we
talk about
should.
these things. Mukhang mahaba-haba pa ito. Anyway,
Yes, we should, I think.
Maraming
We are in
salamat, sir.
trouble here, yes.
Mr. Verhel Santos of the Center for Media Freedom and Responsibility, thank you very much for joining us tonight, sir.
My pleasure and duty.
Salamat, Terhel.
Ingat po. Please stay with us. The Chiefs will be right back. Welcome back to Chiefs. COVID positivity rates in the country are now at 5.5% as of June 21st, according to the Octa Research Group. What does this mean? Let's speak to Dr. Nina Gloriani, the chairperson of the Vaccine Expert Panel. Dr. Nina, thank you for joining us and welcome back to Chiefs.
Yes, hello. Good evening. Good evening. Roby, sa inyong lahat.
Parang hindi po masyadong good kasi hindi tumataas yung booster numbers natin at tumataas imbes yung positivity rate natin. Ano po gagawin natin? I understand na pinayagan na yung boostering ng younger ages pero yung ano pa rin the numbers are still not going up significantly while the positivity rate
maybe with
is.
this increased uptick at you know that the BA.4 or 5 yung was reported 32 cases. So, or isolates. Of course, ang ibig sabihin niyan, hindi lang yan very recent kasi yung mga data niyan, siguro at least 2 weeks pa.
Yes.
So we were talking maybe about more of this, no? So the uptick could be due to the subvariants. So hindi yung mga dati. So yun, mas marami ngayon yung exposed, mas marami yung susceptible because we know that yung sa Omicron, ang antibody responses dyan ay nag-evade siya, no? Yung variant. So we have to be really careful. I think people are getting complacent dahil nag-open up tayo, ang mga borders natin, ang mobility ng tao, you see it everywhere, no? So that is I just hope yung mga masking ay tinutuloy kasi nagiging issue din yon. Yun yung sana advantage natin over other countries. Na yung mga iba na maaga nag-remove ng kanilang mga mask. Tayo medyo na contain natin yung atin. Pero baka hindi na naman.
Doctor, yung increase daw significant na, no? Quote-unquote ng DOH, sabi nila. Significant na. And so, ang proposal ng business sector, mag-booster na daw for 50 and above. So ano bang recommendation nyo? Kailan ba mangyayari yan?
Actually,
Marami naghihintay. For employees lang naman daw.
yeah, we have
Mga
recommended that a long time ago. Kaya lang po, it's the DOH staff that actually makes the final decision. So maybe maybe with this uptick na naman na medyo dapat we should be concerned na i-consider na talaga yung expansion to these other frontline workers. Hindi lang yung healthcare workers and the A2. And even the A3, actually yung aming recommendation, A1, A2.
What's holding them back is the question.
Because the data are not really that much for the second boosters. Merong konti sa Pfizer and Moderna. Of course, yung Pfizer kasi ang pinakamaraming data na nakikita natin parati galing sa Israel, no? Pero yung others, wala. Pero still, because of the variants, yun yung aming naging decision point noon. Kasi while the advantage may be less than kung after the second dose and then yung first booster, yung less dun sa second booster, considering yung mga variants na bago, kailangan natin ibigay.
Pero ma'am, kasi when we talked to Yusek Berhere just the other night, she was insisting that there is no evidence to show na a second booster shot would be effective. My question is this: I understand na we still have a lot of vaccines left over and potentially expiring, but we're being very careful not to just give it away to those who are not immunocompromised. Is there such a thing as there being greater danger in administering this second booster that would outweigh the potential benefits of getting a second booster?
No, as far as the data have shown, wala namang safety concerns. Most of the data, even real world conditions, like even for these children, 12 to 17, may 4 million na silang data niyan sa children na walang additional safety concerns. So the usual lang that you would expect, yung initially reported. Mild to moderate, a few days. Then of course may rare pa rin. Pero yung mga rare, na-outweigh yun yung benefits, yung risk na yun.
So why are we being extra careful about it? I mean, instead of just letting it expire, why not? That brings me to a question. If there is no potential danger to a second booster, then why not take that gamble instead of letting it expire?
I think the DOH staff also listens to the WHO. So meron ding iniintay na mga data pa ang WHO. So we cannot sort of question that. So we're being careful. But I think that those who actually need them, yan namang definition ng immunocompromise. Ay pwede namang ng mga doctors na attending, no? Like what I have said before in another interview, siguro a few weeks before na ito. Yung may comorbidities,
yes, ma'am,
hindi defined as immunocompromised.
Yes, ma'am.
Kung there is a very, very good paper on that. Na pag ang comorbidities mo ay marami, nyari, binilang nila, ngayon sila mga studies, may isang comorbidity, may isang 2, 3, 4, meron pang may 10, meron talagang tao, marami siya sakit. The more comorbidities you have, the chances are na mas meron kang immunocompromised. So because of those, maybe you are taking some medication, some other drugs, then they have to be considered. So hindi yan parang hard and fast rule talaga, hindi ka kasi immunocompromised, hindi ka nagkikimo, hindi ka autoimmune, hindi ka nag-immunosuppressive, hindi ka ano pa ba yan, may HIV and so on. But there are other conditions like pag nagsama-sama yung mga yun, could actually be justified by their attending physicians, by our doctors.
Mga ilang comorbidities kaya kailangan mo. Halimbawa na, stroke ka, you have diabetes, and then you have heart problems. Pwede na ba yun kung yung tatlong yan nag-combine?
Depende sa status po ng pasyente. So actually, mabigat yan. May stroke, may diabetes,
And heart problem.
may heart problem pa. So mataas na yan for Kaya lang, we go by the definition. Pero I think we can
Pwede
Yes,
na ba yun? Oo.
Kung ako,
Pero ma'am, di ba parang dinadaya na lang natin yung definitions para maipasok?
no, hindi naman. No,
Instead of
hindi naman. Ang mga pasyente, iba-ibang klase. We cannot sort of generalize na pag ikaw ay hindi ka nagkikimo, wala kang cancer, wala kang HIV na moderate to severe, o wala kang yung mga nag-stem cell ka and so on. Hindi necessarily yung wala noon, yung sinasabi ko nga, sabi nga ni Ami, ang daming sakit na stroke. Definitely, yung mga na-stroke, mahina ang katawan
Yes, ma'am.
niya. May malnutrition siguro yan. May mga gamot yan. So, it's really all still up to the doctors attending to actually justify giving this to them, giving the second booster to them. Para sa akin, I don't know, baka sabihin sa akin ng mga clinicians.
Well, actually, ma'am, what I meant was, di ba, wouldn't it just be easier to just loosen up the restrictions on who gets the boosters than to loosen up the definitions of what is immunocompromised?
Actually, mas mabuti yata talaga yon. Kaya lang, we have to go by the rules. Ang may decision talaga niyan. And I respect them. Lalo na if they're waiting for WHO. Mahirap eh. Although may mga times naman that we don't really have to follow yung very strictly ang mga WHO guidelines.
Well,
Or baka naman inuuna rin yung mga bata, 'di ba? Dahil ba magpapasukan na, and we're hoping to actually now conduct face-to-face classes more, no? Could that be it?
That could be one of the reasons. Pero of course, we are also prioritizing. Remember, ang prioritization natin, parati pa rin yung hindi pa nakakaisa. And second sa priority ay yung wala pang second dose. Tapos yung third dose at yung second. Siguro kasi, well, they have the data. How many do we have? John 16 tong data ko, 15 million ang nag-booster. Out of how many ba ang nabigyan na fully vaccinated?
70 ata.
69? Something. So,
Almost 70 na.
marami pa tayong hahabulin. So parang hindi naman talagang tinitignan yung second booster. And of course, while sinasabi natin nag-wane yung immunity, I have to go back again to do sa ating discussion before pa. Yung neutralizing antibodies, yun yung waning kasi. Parang if we do not give itong booster, nyari, for one reason or another, meron naman tayong T-cells pa dito sa mga hindi mabibigyan ng boosters na sustained pa. They should be able to mapoprotect nito against the severe form of COVID. So meron pang gano'n. Kaya hindi rin parang nagmamadali.
Doctor, considering the significant increase in cases, lalo na dito sa Metro Manila, you think there are certain activities na pwedeng medyo bawasan?
It's up to this is a very issue, no? Hindi sensitive talaga. But it is a very, dapat yung balancing act.
Yes.
Kasi we have to open up our economy as well. I mean, I would rather normalize. So, ang ayaw lang natin ay makompromiso ang ating healthcare system na dadami ang ICU, ma-hospitalize or even die, no? Pero so far naman, what we see at hindi pa naman talagang nakikita yon sa ating mga hospitals. So, meron pa tayong nakikitang protection yung dito sa mga vaccines na dineploy natin.
Kasi merong mga proposal na dahan-dahan daw muna dun sa face-to-face at medyo mag-hybrid daw sa Well, in certain areas, no, na nagtataasan yung cases.
Oh yes, of course. We have to parang day to day yan, halos, di ba siguro day to day, week to week na babantayan nyo lahat yan.
Pero with Okta predicting 1,000 cases a day by end June or first week of July, do you agree that we should be moving up to alert level 2?
I cannot say that kasi hindi ako yung baka sabihin ng mga economists na masyado kaming but actually there will be a meeting with some of these business people later on. Balancing talaga po. What I'm trying to say also is, okay, nabakunahan na a sizable number of the population. So, kung meron man magkakaroon ng itong COVID, they will be mild, relatively mild, hopefully. So, and then yung mild na yun will increase the herd immunity, the hybrid immunity ng population natin.
The natural immunity.
Yes. So, makakatulong din yun. Basta wag lang tataas yung severe, yung hospitalization, yung ICU admission. So, kasi yan yung parang endemicity na Nandiyan na, para na siyang nahawakan na may flu yung katabi mo, o yung kaklase mo, o yung anak mo. So, but of course, hindi ko naman sinasabi, go out and have yourself, exposed. No, hindi ganon.
Go out and have yourself vaccinated. Is more likely.
Ang dapat.
Yeah.
Oo. Pero babalansihin po natin. Ayoko na rin tumigil ang economy po. Cannot afford it.
Yep.
Pero kailangan natin ng testing, di ba? Paano kaya ma-encourage yan?
Ang alin...
lang tayo ng testing, di ba?
I think the government is doing something about that. So dapat meron pa. Yung antigen testing at least, although meron din siyang mga issues pag walang symptoms, baba sensitivity niya. Pero kahit pa paano, so yung medyo marunong gumawa they can isolate agad. So itong nakikita natin, subvariants to, BA.4.5. Ito nga yun, yung wala tayo noon. Yung medyo na-immune tayo, yung 0.2, 12.1, di ba? So iba to. Kaya posible talaga na tataas pa.
Okay. Dr. Nina Gloriani of the Vaccine Experts Panel. Ma'am, maraming salamat for joining us tonight at ingat po parati.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, bye.
Thank you, Doc. Ingat po. That will be all for this edition of The Chiefs. We hope what is discussed here will keep the conversation going. Now, before we go, a reminder to our viewers, mask on, wash hands, stay safe, Philippines. I'm Lingao.
I'm Ami Pamintuan of the Philippine Star.
And I'm Luchi Cruz-Valdes of News 5, and we are One News.